It's Karthik here. Welcome to today's session. In the meeting, I find Ms. Aishwarya, Kajal, Priyanka, Sumit. I all welcome you to today's session. Can you all hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Right. In case if my system goes for a reset, don't panic, don't worry. I would be coming back in a minute or so, right? All right. Now here I will share my screen. Hope you all can see it. Yes. So I hope yesterday's session was useful, right? In yesterday's session, we discussed about SDLC, right? Software Development Lifecycle. The various phases that appear in software development lifecycle are: first is the requirements gathering phase. And the second phase, we analyze the requirements, right? Analysis. And then design. And then code. And then test. And then maintenance. Okay. Deployment and maintenance. These phases are being implemented in different ways, okay, by different people. And that's how different models have evolved. Okay. For example, in the olden days, actually, do you know when the software industry emerged? Does anybody have an idea? Aishwarya, Kajal, Priyanka, Sumit, Srividya, Uday, Pragati. Software industry appeared long time back. You were not born, in fact, at that time. Around 1960, in US, people started establishing software companies. But in those days, there were only machine languages available. And, a computer used to be as big as a living hall. They were all analog computers. And coding used to be carried out directly in the machine code format, in the form of zeros and ones. Okay. Well, in the very beginning, when software industry started, people did not identify software development process as a scientific process. Okay. So they thought it is simply a matter of writing programs. And as a result of not adopting any systematic approach, a scientific approach, many right. All right. Hello. Can you all see my desktop?
Yes, sir.
Right. So as a result of not adopting any scientific approach, many software companies have incurred heavy losses. Then around 1970s, when high-level programming languages like C, etc., have arrived, C, Fortran, COBOL, etc., then the industry realized that scientific approach must be adopted even for developing software. And therefore, these 6 phases were introduced. Thereafter, everybody decided that we must not begin writing code. See, here you see one phase called implementation. Implementation means coding. Okay. People have realized that one must not begin coding until software is first designed. But design must not begin until all requirements are thoroughly studied and understood. Okay. That's how all these phases came into existence. Now, in the very beginning, software companies used to adopt a model called waterfall model. Okay, waterfall model. Okay, so waterfall model, see how does water flow? It always flows from top to bottom, right? Or from a high elevated position to a low elevation, right? Much in the similar manner, people used to first gather all the requirements, and until all requirements are studied and thoroughly understood, they never used to begin design. Okay. And the principle was that in those days, after once design starts, one must never go to previous stage like requirements. Waterfall model says that. What is meant by model? Model is nothing but one methodology. Okay. So waterfall model says that if you begin one phase, then never look back, never go to previous phase. Okay. Suppose that after having come to this implementation phase, implementation means coding. It was discovered that the design is not proper. Then waterfall model says, go back to requirement stage again, okay, and begin the work right from that point. All right. So waterfall model says once the current phase begins, we must never go to the previous phase. We must always look forward, right, not backward. So industry used it to establish this strict principle and then start developing or doing the project work. Nowadays, nobody virtually, follows this methodology. However, just to improve your, what do you say, communication skills, right, ability to express your views, could you tell me the disadvantages of this model? Disadvantages. Or may I change the question? For what type of projects is this model more suitable? Small projects or big projects? Just small or big? Feel free to talk with me. Aishwarya, Kajal, Pragati, Priyanka, Sumit, Usharani, Uday. It's just one discussion, that's all. You express your opinion freely. For what type of projects is waterfall model more suitable? Small scale projects or large scale projects?
I guess for small scale projects.
Very good.
And the disadvantages is Only after completion of the development only we can start the testing.
Yes, excellent. Good answer. This process is definitely suitable only for small scale projects. Yes. The reason is that, see, if it is a big project, then it wouldn't be possible. It would not be possible to gather all requirements at once, right? Even if you take 2 to 3 months, still some more requirements, okay, will not be covered. Big projects means like a big banking project, right? Or a project which has to be a software which has to be developed for a big insurance company, okay? Or, you know, online reservation system, okay? For such projects, is it possible that all requirements be gathered first and then only design shall begin? If that is the case, then in the requirements gathering phase itself, people will, consume somewhere around 1 year of time. Okay. So for gathering requirements, if they take 1 year, and then by the time they start design, all the requirements which they gathered earlier will become old. Business strategies change, right? From time to time, requirements grow. According to the modern times, when the design begins, requirements that were gathered could become old. But whereas if it is the matter of developing software for a small restaurant, okay, suppose that there is a small restaurant and the restaurant owner asked you people to develop software with the help of which he can sell food items, right? And he can also maintain accountancy, right, for his project, for his restaurant. Then, you can conveniently gather all requirements from that restaurant owner, right? You could take somewhere around 10 to 15 days, then begin design. And requirements don't change drastically or rapidly there, right? Because it's a small business. Yes, good. And a disadvantage is that verification means testing. See here, it says testing shall not begin until the process of writing code is over. Verification means testing. Okay. That means bugs cannot be detected at an earlier stage, right? See, bug. Where do you think that a bug can appear? Only in code or design also? Well, bugs can appear even in the requirements gathering stage too. Okay? If requirements are not properly studied, are not properly understood, or if some of the requirements go missing, then all such incidents should be considered as bugs only, right? So even requirements phase also can contain bugs. And if one starts doing testing only after coding, right, by the time it will be too late. Bug means bug may not appear only because developer did not write code properly. Even if the design was not conducted properly, bugs can appear. Bugs can arise out even if requirements are not gathered properly. Okay, so this old methodology never realized that testing must be involved into the process right from the beginning, right? And hence, this SDLC model nowadays is not adopted by any company in general, all right? Then, well, I'll come to that prototyping model later on. Look at this one. There is one another type of SDLC model called iterative model. This iterative model is best suited for product-based companies. In iterative model, software will be developed and released version after version, okay, version by version. Like version 1 will be released first. Version 2, version 3, and so on. First, initialize the process, right? And then do planning, right? So planning initially, like, estimating budgets, manpower, resources, etc. Then requirements are studied and analyzed, right? Design is carried out. Implementation means coding. Verification means testing. Evaluation means maintenance. So after coding is done, right? After coding is done and testing is also carried out, then software will be deployed. Now here, one will not try to gather all requirements at once. Okay, take some of the most critical requirements for now, implement them, release the software as version 1. Let the software be put into use. Let people start using it. And then slowly gather some more requirements. While the product is already into production, behind the scenes, some more requirements will be gathered. And then software will be developed again, right, from the beginning, this time as version 2. And once version 2 is ready, version 2 generally tends to have all the features of version 1 plus some more. So it is like an extension. Once version 2 is developed, then they will replace version 1 with version 2. And then later on comes version 3. And this goes on and on in an iterative model. At the end of every iteration, what comes out is a full-fledged software, but which covers requirements that are, required for the present age, not for future. Okay. So while software is catering for the requirements of the present age, some more requirements that are required for future will be studied and added. Windows 7, Windows 8, then came Windows 10, probably now came Windows 11, right? This goes on in an iterative model. Well, that is called as iterative model, and this iterative model is mainly adopted by product-based companies. And then, so there are some more models like spiral model, right? And prototyping model. I will come to them. I will explain them. Don't worry. I am coming in a one planned manner. Right? V shape. This V shape remained very popular until a few years back. Somewhere around 4 years back, V model was replaced with agile model. Okay. Now the model which all software companies generally use is called agile. Now, well, I worked in projects which were developed by using V-shaped model for nearly around 8 years. Okay. So this model, after it was introduced, it remained popular for nearly around 8 years. And if you ask me what is the greatness of this model, why people liked it more, well, the answer is V model. V model gives top priority to verification and validation. Okay. Verification and validation. In V model, developers and testers both begin their respective work right in the beginning. Means testers are also involved into requirements gathering phase. Once upon a time, companies used to call testers only after coding is over. But beginning with V model, they started to invite testers and get them involved in the requirement phase itself. So along with developers, testers will also study requirements. After studying requirements, while developers get busy in designing the product, testers will become busy in developing test cases for this final testing called as acceptance testing. Now here we use terms like test case, test script, test data, test scenario, right? These terms come up in our discussions quite often. You all aim at becoming testers, right? So you must know meanings of these terms. In IT industry, what becomes most important is terminology. Okay, believe me. In other industries, maybe like, automobile, civil, electronic, etc. Terminology may have only secondary importance, but in IT industry, terminology assumes primary importance. Okay. So terms used by testers are test scenario, test case, test script, test data. Test scenario means the context under which testing has to be carried out. Suppose that your company has developed Notepad, okay? And assume that the Notepad, you just assume that Notepad is the product which your company developed, and say development is already over. And then say your company asked you people to come forward and test it. Okay. Now, here, what are the important components of Notepad? You testers would be knowing everything about Notepad even before it is developed. Why? Because you would be studying the requirements, right? Just assume that this Notepad was developed for fulfilling the requirements of a group of users. Okay. Now, what are the main components of Notepad? Can anybody tell me? Notepad. You just assume that this itself is the product developed by your company. Of course, Notepad was developed by Microsoft. You just assume that there is your company in place of Microsoft. Now, Notepad has an editor, right? Has a menu bar, has a window, right? It appears in a window, right? One window, menu bar, and editor. Let us consider that there are three important components. Now, what is to be tested first? Let us suppose that all aspects of window are to be tested first, right? All aspects of window are to be tested first. So that can be considered as one scenario. Testing aspects related to window is one scenario. Under that one scenario, many test cases will emerge. Okay. Next, testing menu bar. Well, that aspect can be considered as one another scenario. Next, testing whether this editor was built properly or not is one another scenario. So I could subdivide this into three scenarios. So scenario is at a very high level. At a very high level, you have to first divide the whole testing work. Okay. And then you have to take each high-level division. Under it, you have to find one or more test cases. And then for each test case, you have to develop test script. And then while executing test script, you have to give test data as input. Okay. Now, test scenario. First scenario is window, testing window. Yes. Can anyone tell me what are the aspects that have to be tested with respect to window? You all are familiar with Notepad, right? That is the reason why I chose Notepad as one example. Pragati, Sumit, Srividya, Uday, Sharani, Divya. What could be some of the aspects that have to be checked with respect to the window in which Notepad is running now? May I tell you one thing that needs to be tested? First of all, verify whether minimize, maximize, and close buttons, right, of this window are working or not. Now, verifying whether minimize button is working or not is one test case. Maximize button is working or not is another test case. Close button is working or not is one another test case. So what is meant by test case then? Test case tells us what is to be tested. Okay. So if your team lead asks you to identify test cases, then what is it that she is asking you? Can anybody tell me what it could be? Your team lead has asked you to identify test cases. She gave you one product, software product, and asked you to identify test cases. She only says you identify test cases. Then you should understand it as what? That means you have to identify and tell what are to be tested in it. Okay. Suppose that you went to a stationery shop to purchase a pen. Would you accept whatever the shopkeeper gives to you blindly? No, right? You would first test it, then only accept it, right? So what are various aspects in the pen that you will test while buying it? First, you will check whether the pen is really writing. It is becoming possible to write with the pen or not, right? You will check whether that refill in the pen really has got ink filled completely, right, up to the brink or not. Then you will check whether the pen is writing smoothly or not. Probably you will also test whether the cap is fitting into the pen properly or not. All right. If you say color, price, etc., they are, personal choices, right? But there are many things to be tested. You will test that to ascertain quality of pen. Similarly, in every product, there will be something to test, right? A test case tells what is to be tested. All right. A test case tells what is to be tested. So, identify test cases. Identify test cases in the window of this Notepad editor. Notepad is one product.
Minimize,
Minimize
maximize,
button,
close.
maximize button, close button. And further, yes, very good. Very good. Further.
Whether the user is able to write on the notepad or not.
Yeah, that is editor, right, Amma? Editor.
Yes, yes.
We'll come to editor later on. First window, right, Amma? So we subdivided this into three parts: editor, menu, and window.
Can we save
Hmm.
data or not?
Saving data is one another functionality that belongs to the editor only. First window. There are still many more things that have to be tested in window.
The buttons are working fine or not, we can test that.
Yeah, minimize, maximize, close button, right, Amma? These three buttons, yes.
Yeah, in the options, file option, edit option.
That is menu, no? Menu. We'll come to menu. May I identify one another test case in window? Minimize, maximize, close, right. In window, with respect to window, well, I would check whether the title bar is in the title bar, title is correctly displayed or not. That is one test case. Do you agree with me? Or do you think that whatever I cited out is not so important? Verifying whether title bar is correctly displayed or not. Is it important or not?
Important.
Probably important, right? See, every minute thing is important. As a tester, you must not let anything go missed. Okay, even a small thing, you should be doubtful about even a smallest aspect also. Okay, to a developer, it may not appear so important, but tester means you will have to look at everything in with a magnifying glass. You must first, attain that spirit. Testing anything in general, whatever you see, you must first doubt. You must have doubts on it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Verifying whether title bar is displayed correctly or not. Verifying whether the icon, see, this icon could be your company's logo sometimes. Verifying whether that logo is correctly displayed or not is one another test case. And verifying whether this window could be resized like this. See, the window borders are flexible borders, right? Don't you think? Hello, everybody. Sorry for the interruption. Well, yeah, so I requested the coordinator to allow me to share the screen. They would certainly do so. In the meantime, testing whether the borders, okay, at the borders, it is becoming possible to, increase, decrease the size of the window is also one another aspect. Right, Amma? Do you think that is also important or not? Right, my dear friends? That is also important, right? And similarly, what about these scroll bars? Vertical scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar, they are also part of window, right? Well, as a tester, it becomes your duty to verify whether those scroll bars are appearing in time and are also working or not. Okay, as long as there is nothing in the editor, probably scroll bars may not have to be made visible. But once content is there in the window, well, vertical and horizontal scroll bars must start working. Right? A few minutes back, you said 3 test cases are enough. But after studying all the requirements thoroughly and gaining more and more understanding about the product, some more requirements have come out, right? Some more requirements which have to be tested. So you first thought 3 test cases were enough. But later on, title bar, logo, borders, horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, see how many have emerged. And in the end, at the end of the day, who will be declared as the champion among all testers? That tester who has identified maximum number of test cases becomes the winner. Are you all able to understand what I'm trying to say? Emma, Divya, Kajal, Pragati.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So, in order to become a successful tester, all right, and in order to get elevated to higher positions, see, you have to work like a tester only for the initial 1 or 2 years. Immediately, you must set an aim of becoming a test lead. And from thereafter, project manager. Okay, within 5 years, you must all become project managers. You have to set your objectives like that. So you have to get involved in the work. Okay, and so the key to success here is identification of test cases. Whoever can identify, whoever comes out with maximum number of test cases will be immediately elevated as the team lead there. Because, for testing, on testing side, what is required? Keen observation. Finding out all those aspects which need to be tested. A bug could lie anywhere, right? So tester must not allow a bug to go unnoticed. Okay, Nama? Yes. Similarly, yes, menu. There are many things to be tested in menu, right? Yeah, we will slowly discuss that part also, right? Menu and then editor. Some of you have identified few important and interesting test cases with respect to editor. All right. Yes, we will go to all those concepts too. So today we try to understand different models, right? Like waterfall model and then iterative model. Iterative model means version by version, right? Round by round, round, like that. And then we came to V model. Among all models, V model lays maximum emphasis, maximum importance to testing. Okay. V model identifies testing as one of the very, very, very important things. Therefore, testing is introduced into V model right from the beginning. Okay, see these dotted lines, they denote that developers and testers work parallelly. Left-hand side of this V belongs to developers when it comes to working. Right-hand side, testers. Okay, left-hand side, developers. Right-hand side, testers. All right, and they both work parallelly. Yes, some more understanding will have to be obtained with respect to V model. And after studying V model, then I will explain about Agile model also. See, this material will be supplied to you. Most of it is theoretical in nature, but if it is explained by someone like me, then it could be easily understood. Okay. Otherwise, you may not be able to understand certain philosophy that is inherently involved in it. All right. Okay. So we will study about some more SDLC models in the next class when we meet on Monday. In the meantime, shall we now bother about something about this environment, right? Java environment, as it has been planned, right? From the beginning, we have planned to go after concepts like this. Half of the time we will devote for manual testing. All right. Manual testing for people of your caliber, very, very easy. Don't worry. I will show you all the deliverables, the format in which you have to write test cases, the format in which you have to report bugs. All right. And then different manual testing techniques. Everything will be studied. Okay. In the meantime, every day we shall also spare some time and discuss about fundamentals of Java, slowly CoreJava, right? So that by the time manual testing finishes, we shall all be ready with the knowledge of Java, right? Readily equipped with the knowledge of Java in order to begin writing test cases for Selenium. So there are two parts of this training program, manual testing and test automation. Test automation will begin only after manual testing is over. But by the time test automation begins, you must have at least 50% of the core Java knowledge, right? So that's where I'm gradually taking you to. Yes, yesterday I showed how you can download and install JDK 17. Have you ever tried to download and install JDK 17? Those whoever have attended yesterday? Remember, I have not started Java yet. We only discussed about environment yesterday. Usharani,
Yes, sir.
Sumit. Okay, right. Right. Have any difficulty in downloading or installing? You can ask me, right? Ask me to, clarify those issues. I will resolve them. Don't worry. Next, after downloading and installing JDK, JDK stands for Java Development Kit.
Development kit.
Yes. After downloading and installing JDK, you have to download and install any one IDE like IntelliJ. This IntelliJ IDE can be downloaded from an organization called JetBrains. Okay. So here I am showing you how you can download that IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment.
Development environment.
Yes. So here in Google search box, you type download IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition. See, there are two editions, Community and Ultimate. Ultimate Edition is used by companies and it is a licensed one. Software companies must purchase license and then only use IntelliJ. To them, free usage is not allowed. But people who are learning Java, right, who wish to learn Java, beginners, for educational purpose, Community Edition is being provided. Community Edition is free. It contains all the features of Ultimate Edition, but cannot be used for commercial purpose. Okay. Yes. Then, so you better note down this search criteria that you have to enter into Google search box. Download IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition. And then in JetBrains, see here you could find one link like this, right? Download IntelliJ IDEA, the leading Java and Kotlin IDE. So please download it from the website called JetBrains. And here perhaps it is showing Ultimate, right? Don't download Ultimate. Please download Community Edition. Probably this is the one place where you need my guidance. Rest of it is all easy. Okay, you press download button and an executable file will be downloaded. All right. So download executable file always. Don't download zip file. Okay. Don't even download .exe ARM64. That is meant for Linux environment. Download .exe. Just press download. Make sure that .exe is set here and press download. An executable file will be downloaded. Double click on that file. That's all. Installation begins. Okay. See, that executable file probably appears in this fashion. C drive, JetBrains. I downloaded it some time back. Okay, this is a Community Edition. Simply you have to double click and installation process will begin. Very simple installation. Next, finish. That's all. After you successfully install IntelliJ IDEA, an icon will start appearing on your desktop like this. Okay. But remember, you have to download and install IntelliJ IDEA only after first installing JDK. JDK means Java. Java 2 has got many versions, right? 8, 11, 17. Recommended version is 17. And if you are wondering from where we can download Java, okay, if you are joined this batch newly, then please be informed that In Google, one will have to type download JDK 17. JDK means Java Development Kit. JDK 17, Java 17 all mean one and the same. Okay. Then go to Oracle Corporation's website and use this link, Java SE 17 archive downloads. Here SE means standard edition. Java standard edition is also called as CoreJava. And if you are wondering why we started to discuss about Java, please be informed that in the later part of this course, when you learn about Selenium, at that time you will have to use Java. You will use Java for writing test cases. Okay. Each test case will contain test script. So that test script must be written by using some language like Java or Python. Only then Selenium can understand it. And we all chose Java, right, to be our platform for writing those test cases. So I am preparing you in advance for meeting that future eventuality. All right. In Java SE archive downloads, please download Java SE Development Kit 17 and you have to click the link that belongs to Windows x64 installer. Okay, Windows x64 installer. The size is around 153 MB. You click this link, and as you click this link, Oracle asks you to enter user ID and password, means it shows a login page. If you don't have an account, create a free account. Okay, there will be a button for signing up. Okay, sign up, and then you just specify a user ID and password for yourself, free account only, and then log in. This download will bring you an exe file. Double click on that exe file and install.
Sir, is it mandatory to create an account in Oracle?
Yeah, yes. That's what I know as far as I know. Is Oracle allowing you to download freely now without account also? Software is free, of course. But as far as I know, yeah, it asks you to log in. If I click on this link now, it does not ask me to log in because I already logged in once in the past. Okay. Create an account, free account. Anyway, possessing one free account will be always good for you. Because in
Okay,
future,
sir.
you will be requiring many other Oracle products. Okay, Rama? Oracle provides many other products that will become helpful to you as a tester. So not only just this Java, okay, there are some more frameworks that you will have to download in future. So keeping those future requirements in view, please create one account. Yes.
Okay, sir.
After once you download and during the time you download and install software, if you get into any problem, do not hesitate. Next day when you come to the class, please ask me to clarify issues, right? And after once you download and Monday, yeah,
Monday 7 p.m.
Monday 7 p.m.
Okay, sir. How many days to continue the demo classes? I think 2 days, 3 days.
Actually, we can consider today's class also as one of the, what you say, real class. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
demo means, yeah, I would not like to waste too much of time in demos, right?
Okay.
So, okay. So every
That
day,
means, okay.
go ahead.
Then actually, sir, I want to know that the 2 days, 3 days, I think so. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days the demo classes. After that, we are subscription.
Slowly we shall begin discussing the concepts also, right? So why to waste too much of time, right, in demos? Well, again, I will adjust my pace and I will go according to your convenience. Okay?
Okay, sir.
You want in any way you are interested in continuing, right, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
So many of you are interested in continuing, I know that, right? So
Sir,
slowly. Yeah, go ahead.
sir, one request from my side.
Go ahead. Amma.
Remaining not only this demo sessions only, remaining sessions also continued in the same phase like what you actually explained today. Continue the remaining sessions also in the same phase because we are all new for this.
Yeah, we'll go slow. I'm going slow.
Yeah, sir.
Right? I will go very slow. See, I am into this teaching field since from the past 8 years, right? And I work for Accenture. And at Accenture also nowadays, I am being involved into LKM, Learning and Knowledge Management. Okay, there is a team called LKM. And what we do is half of the day we spend in teaching there, remaining half development and testing. And I always take up training programs only for beginners, okay? Because I like teaching things right from fundamentals, okay? We'll go very slow,
Yes.
don't worry, right, Amma? So never have any other thought. You feel free to talk to me. This is not any academic course, right? So
Yes.
I'm not a college lecturer and you are not in the college anymore, right? So here, be it any task, whether it is training or development or testing, it should be carried out like one teamwork, right? So you consider me as one elderly person who can give you right guidance, right assistance in right time. That's all. So you need not call me sir also, okay? However, there is a age gap, right? So you people tend to call me sir. Okay, no problem. But let the gap be narrowed, okay, not widened, right? Whenever you have anything to ask, feel free to ask. Because this you should consider this like one professional course, job oriented that too. Okay, so beginners, no need to worry. And that is the reason why I don't want to make you wait too long a time to begin Java, right? See, you people can easily understand all manual testing concepts. Real manual testing has not been started yet. I'm still explaining about SDLC, right? Different models. Whether it is a software developer or software tester, both of them are called as software engineers. Okay? Software developer is a software engineer. Software tester is also a software engineer. And a person who knows about SDLC models and then, okay, software test lifecycle model can only be considered as a software engineer. Okay. So this is what I told you today about requirements gathering phase, analysis phase, design phase, coding phase, testing, implementation, means deployment, and other models belongs to software engineering. All right. Software engineering, software development, software testing is an engineering process. So you must have firm base. Okay, you must have a good foundation. Then only you can speak with confidence when you go into the industry. Here, whoever exhibits confidence will immediately attain success. Right. So therefore, knowing all these things is important. Okay? After explaining about 2 to 3 more models, gradually I will take you towards this area in particular, in specific, testing. There we will study different levels of testing, different types of testing, and what is the format in which you will have to write test cases and present it to your team lead. Before trying to know how to write a test case, doesn't it become your duty to know what is meant by test case first of all? Right, Amma? Sumit, Srividya, Uday, Usharani,
Yes, sir.
right? So
Yes.
you must all know what is meant by test case first of all. And today we discussed about it, right? We learned about it. Can you just tell me back what is meant by test case?
Actually, sir, test case means what to be tested.
Very
That
good.
means
Very good. Yes,
What
excellent.
to test?
Yes. Test
in a
case,
way,
actually, let me tell you this.
what
Test
is
case,
tested?
yes, test case tells what is to be tested.
Yes.
Test scenario tells under which context you are doing that testing. Okay, under which context you are doing the testing. Test case tells what is to be tested. Then what is test script? Test script tells how it is to be tested. Okay, test case means what
So
is
what
to be
is
tested. Test script means
How it is
how it
tested.
is.
how it is? Okay.
And during the time you follow test script for executing the test case, you will be needing some data. You will have to give some data as input, because what you will be testing is software, right? Every software takes some data as input, will process the data and produce information as output. So data becomes important. That data which you will feed into the system while executing a test case by following the test script is called test data. Okay. Right? See, in case you find it difficult to understand any English terminology, you kindly let me know so that, I can even explain a concept either
Sir,
in
explain this again. Test data.
test data means, say, for example, say, calculator, right? Now, verifying mathematical operations is the test scenario. Okay. In calculator, many more other things will have to be tested. Testing whether memory plus, memory recall, memory minus are working or not. That is another test scenario. Testing whether arithmetic operations are working correctly or not is one test scenario. Right, Amma? Under this test scenario, addition is one test case. Subtraction is one another test case. Multiplication is one another test case. Right, Amma? Am I clear?
Yeah.
Sir.
Testing arithmetic operations is this scenario. Under that scenario, verifying whether addition is correctly, developed or not, means whether the developer has written code for addition correctly or not is one test case. Subtraction is another test case. Multiplication is one another test case. Now, come to this test case. So what is to be tested here? Addition must be tested. Subtraction must be tested. Multiplication must be tested. So each one of that aspect which is to be tested is one test case. Okay. Now, how do you test addition operation? Yeah, can anybody tell me? I want to check whether this plus is working properly or not. So what should I do? First,
I think so. This
enter
is
one
a
number, right, Amma?
test script.
Yeah, according to the test script. Please tell me the test script, which I must follow for testing plus. First, shall we test whether addition is properly carried out on 4 and 5? Okay, 4 and
4
5.
plus 5.
Yeah.
4
So
plus
please
5
tell.
equal to 9.
Yeah.
Actually, that is correct or not?
Yes.
Here check. That is called test script.
Yes, Amma. So tell it like a script. Like a script.
If
Press
condition.
4. Yeah. Press 4. Right, Amma? Press
Press
4. Next, a script means steps. Step by
Okay,
step.
okay.
Okay.
Press
Ah.
press
How
add
to
symbol.
check
Yes.
actually the
Press
filling of
plus.
yes.
Yes. What you are reading
Yeah.
out now is nothing but script only. Ah. Yes. Next. Good.
Press
Go ahead.
5.
Press 5. Good. That is script. Ah.
Press
Good.
equals.
Press equals. Good. That's all, right?
Press
Now verify whether the output is 9 or not.
output.
Right?
Ah.
Now, in this process, so you just read out script correctly. In that process, have we not entered 4 and 5? Right, Amma?
Yeah.
That 4 and that 5 is test data.
Okay.
Did you get an idea now?
Okay.
It could be any other two numbers. May not only be 4 and 5. Any other two numbers. But after you complete your testing and certify that plus is working properly, they will ask you, what is the data that you used to verify and find that plus is working correctly? Then you have to tell, I used 4 and 5 like that.
Okay.
Okay, Nama? The data that you will enter to complete that testing is called test data.
Okay.
Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, what you have to do is, even before you complete this test script, you would be knowing the expected result. As a tester, you must know expected result first. Then follow the test script, complete your testing, and see the actual result. Compare actual result. This 9, what you are seeing here is the actual result. And expected result was also 9. 9 is equal to 9. Therefore, you have to certify that plus operation is working correctly.
Is correct.
So as a tester, finally what you have to do is, you have to verify whether expected output is same as actual output or not. If both are matching, then you will have to certify that it is okay. So in this discussion, everything came, right? Test scenario, test case, test script, test data. Verifying arithmetic operations is the scenario. Under it, addition is one test case. Under it, the steps like press 4, press plus, press 5, press equal to, all those steps are part of test script. And right within the test script, there is test data embedded. What is the test data? 4, 5. Okay. So have you now got an idea? And basic idea? Okay. After you go there into any company, you have to use this terminology only. Terms. Terminology is important in IT industry. Right, Amma? Yes, we'll be using those same terms throughout this training program. And by the time, we come to end of this training program, you'll all become thorough with them. Don't worry. It is my duty to make you thorough with them. So I will adjust my pace. I will go at a speed that is comfortable to you all, right? And don't have any second thought. This training will prove to be very, very useful to you. You are learning Java also, right? Parallelly. And therefore, your maturity level will only increase and your confidence levels will also increase, right? And during these discussions, I will also here and there telling you about, how to approach interviews, important questions that are asked in interviews. I myself is part of interview panel in my company, right? So I know what type of questions are asked. So therefore, please feel assured, right? And then, training material, all the source code that I will demonstrate while teaching Java, everything will be provided to you.
Okay.
All right, Amma. So today's time is almost over. We'll meet on Monday again, right? Pragati,
Okay, sir.
Sharani,
Yes, sir. Thank
Ankita,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Divya, Priyanka. Thank you, Amma. Sumit.
Same time English.
Same time. Vidya,
Okay.
Uday. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. We shall all meet on Monday again.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Thank you.